Hello, my one and only loves. This is Remy Red coming to you with another review. Today I'm reviewing the United States versus Billie Holiday, directed by Lee Daniels and also produced by Lee Daniels, as well as other people who assisted in producing the movie, starring Andra Day as Miss Billie Holiday. I want to first start off by saying that Andra Day was phenomenal. She did an excellent job. She really got into character. The tone in her voice and the manner in which she acted, it was so believable. I forgot that it was Andra Day, but I like Andra Day anyway. She definitely embodied the role. Okay, so when looking at this movie, I reflect back to Lady Sings the Blues, which was um, Dinah Ross's rendition, and I tried to see if I saw contrast comparisons in the movies. Um, the scene that sticks the most out to me in my head is the brothel part, and you had those two correlations. But in United States versus Billie Holiday, they go into greater detail about the background of her story a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and you find that her mom was a prostitute. I don't recall that in the first movie, but it could be. That movie is so old, I cannot remember. If you guys remember, down in the comments, please let me know because I don't remember that part. Um, so really, the movie United States versus Billie Holiday. It's like, wow, what a title! And so, what this really was about is a song that she uh, performed and sung all over the country called "Strange Fruit," which was in reference to um, our people being lynched and hanging from trees, being killed, and blood trickling down from the trees, the asphyxiation of someone being hung, eyes bulging out, everything. In making this song, she gained a lot of attention, and it catapulted her career into um, the African Americans calling her um, a voice of the people. Um, this drew attention to Miss Holiday in a bad way because the FBI wanted to suppress her. They wanted to stifle her. They did not want her to sing that song. And so she was a very defiant person and a person that you couldn't control. She had her own mind and she did what she wanted to do on her own terms, and this caused problems for her throughout her life. She was married to a young man named Louis McKay who was very violent toward her. He dog walked her and just beat her. And she hit him too. She was violent toward him. So they had a very tumultuous, volatile relationship for years. Um, and she was a heroin addict. And so the way that the FBI felt that she was a threat because of the song Strange Fruit, they had to figure out, well, how could we get her and suppress her and stifle her? Oh, I got it. She has an addiction. So we're going to try to catch her up. And the minute we catch her getting high, we're going to put her in jail. That'll teach her. So she went to jail many, many times, but it didn't stop her from being herself, being true to her heart, and being true to her creativity. And I don't know if that was another reason that she used so much, is because she couldn't be herself. She had to suppress who she was because of outside forces. The FBI came up with a plan to, as she traveled along, someone would have to follow behind her. And so a young man by the name of Jimmy, the first black man to become FBI agent, was put on a detail, and he would follow her around. And the purpose of him being there was to trick on her and to tell when she was drinking. I mean, when she was getting high, so that she could get busted and they could put her back in jail because she refused to stop singing that song. And what it is that it had them looking at themselves like, damn, we are monsters. And it woke up the black consciousness in a way that it made us feel some kind of way back then. And they didn't want that. They didn't want it. So that's why they targeted her. And she would be targeted for the rest of her duration. Had she conceded and obeyed the law to what their standards were, she probably would have lived a much longer life and been a little bit more happier. But that wasn't her. She went out on her own terms, and you can't be mad at that. Um, so the young man, Jimmy, who followed her around, initially he was diming her out. And as they went along on this journey together, the both of them developed a relationship, and he fell for Billie Holiday. And he was so good to her and loving and kind, and she was just used to somebody just, for lack of a better word, just fucking her. He made love to her. That was something she hadn't experienced from being with her husband, because he wasn't any good for her. And this young man, Jimmy, was in a compromising position because you work for the feds, and you're having a relationship with a client that you're supposed to be reporting back to us on. So the head of the FBI, Harry Aslinger, would ask for progress reports from him, and Jimmy, oh no, she's clean, she's not doing anything, and blah blah blah. I think Henry caught on to the fact that maybe something was going on that he couldn't see, and so he had another FBI tell Jimmy, and they figured out that he was having a torrid love affair with Billie Holiday, and he really cared for her, really. And he did try heroin with them, but he didn't get stuck on it. He wanted to see her feel good. He wanted her to get the help she needed. They went. It was one trip that they had taken, and they were out in the field, and the band was playing softball or some type of game, and Billie decided then that she had to let Jimmy go because she knew that her husband was coming back to get her, and this was the guy that had been dog walking her and beating her down, and she went back and she told Jimmy, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm not used to this type of love." And so basically, she was saying, "I'm used to being dog walked. That's what I'm used to, basically." And so she went back with her husband, Louis McKay, and they stayed together for a little bit more while. But Jimmy found his way back to her, and they were making out in her dressing room, and her husband, Louis McKay, walked in on it, and they got into a brawl, and they really fought over her. And her husband, Louis McKay, said, "You can just have her." And so that was his out, and that was Jimmy's in. And Jimmy, as I stated before, he loved her. He loved her. And he was sweet and kind and loving to her. And she needed that because she didn't really have a mom. I didn't really hear anything about her dad. She needed love. And before she passed this earth, she experienced it. And so it was her husband had come back again, but it was on an ulterior motive to get her to snitch on who her drug suppliers were. And once she did that and stopped singing the song Strange Fruit, they would leave her alone. And even up to Billie Holiday's dying day, she never snitched. And she told them, I'm going to never stop singing Strange Fruit. She ended up developing a disease and would later on pass. But she left here with some form of integrity. And it was a sad story, but it was a good one. So I recommend the movie. I think you'll love it. Um, it's a tearjerker, though. It can be if you're sensitive. And her song went on to be named by Time Magazine as the song of a whole century. That's a whole 100 years. And she may not have lived long. She died at the age of 44. But she made a difference and she left an impact on the world. And she provoked people into thinking. And if you could do something like that in your life, then you didn't die in vain. And she never let them break her. So I get a movie a 2 thumbs up. I think it was awesome. I saw it on Hulu. And I recommend that you watch the movie, guys, and tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment if you see it. We can have a conversation about it. And you may look at it from a different perspective than me, and we can share our thoughts. So that's all I have to say about the Billie Holiday movie. I really, really enjoyed it, and um, I'm proud of her. And may she rest in peace. All right, my one and only loves. I'll talk to you later, and I'll be back soon with another review. Bye.